Hello all my quilting friends. I'm Pam Goggins at Sager Creek Quilts, and I wanted to share some tips for paper piecing. I've shared these in classes before, but some of my students wanted a refresher, and since we're all sewing at home and not getting out together to have classes for right now, decided this might be the best way to give you a reminder or two. First of all, you may be making house blocks for our housebound quilt. I posted on our Facebook page a pattern. If you can't find it, you can email me and I'll send you an email link with the pattern. And there's a few trees in there as well. The idea is that you can make a little paper pieced house every day that we're all housebound. I did have somebody call me and ask me how many houses they should already have done, and I said it all depends on how long you've been housebound. So that's totally up to you. You can use this pattern or somebody else's pattern just for a little house, for a little fun paper piecing project. The first thing you have to do is get your foundation, and I used Carol Doak's paper. You can use any kind of typing paper. This is what I used. On the patterns, you're going to have 2 houses per sheet. And there is a house and a B house. One or house number 1, house number 2. One is just a reverse of the other. Most of it is very, very simple paper piecing. And so I've got a little piece here that I'm going to show you. It's just a simple rectangle to add. One thing you're going to want to have on hand is some sort of a hard edge to fold against. It can be an index card, a business card. This is a piece of template plastic. And the blue lines simply help keep me from losing it on my table, which I do quite frequently. This is an add-a-quarter ruler. You could also use just a little ruler for trimming. However, the add-a-quarter it helps. It's a little safer because there's a little ridge there to keep you from cutting your fingers quite so easily. So what you're going to do is fold back on all of the paper lines. And the first piece is going to be glued to the back side of the paper. The second piece you're going to slide under. And so here's my second piece right here. It says A2. That's the exact shape I need when it's folded back. So as long as the piece of fabric I'm going to add to it is completely covered by that section, I know that when I stitch it and flip it back, I'm going to have plenty to cover that space. And then everything gets trimmed later. For a rectangle or squares, that's pretty straightforward and fairly easy to figure out. Where a lot of people struggle is on something like this, where I've got an angle. So I've got my first piece glued down and even have stitched a sky corner on the edge. Now my next piece is this big parallelogram. That's a big word you don't really have to know, but what I need to know is when I fold this back, I need to know how to place the next piece. So if I place the edge of the fabric on the edge of my trimmed piece, if I stitch that, I'm going to be unsewing because it's not going to fit. Because if I stitch there and flip the paper back and flip the fabric, now look what happened. There's no way that that covers my area. So with the paper side folded back, just slide the fabric that you want to add underneath the paper so that you may have a corner sticking out that doesn't look like it's going to work. But once I stitch across here, when I flip this back and this gets flipped back to match, then it's going to be something like that, and I'm going to trim all the excess away anyway. So that's the basic of paper piecing, and there is a tutorial also on our Facebook page. If you haven't gone to our Facebook page and liked it, be sure and do that and share it with your friends. Also, most of you who have been around me know that I'm a Studio 180 Design certified instructor, and I do a lot of designing and stitching with Deb Tucker's tools, and I'm working on a new pattern, and just in the spirit of what we're all going through, I've named it Stir Crazy. And so these are some of the pieces. I'm going to reveal it over the next few days. And just a hint, this is 2 different colorways of the same quilt. So it's going to have some square and a square, and we do that with Deb's Square Squared tool. It's going to have some corner beams, which is a really cool tool to make this spiky little corner. And my handy dandy fabric organizers, if you haven't used those, they're pretty handy. But it's got different colors for the 2 different colorways. And then there's quite a few flying geese that are in this project. So be watching to see what I'm going to add to the Stir Crazy quilt. It's a deceptively simple quilt because the pieces are just basic shapes, and they're arranged in such a way that the pattern is kind of hidden, and so you have to kind of figure out where the blocks are. Thanks for watching. Share with your friends, and come see us at Sager Creek Quilts. We're in Siloam Springs, and our phone number is 479-549-5778. We're doing a lot of phone shopping with people and sending pictures of fabric that people are looking for. Our fabric is on our website, but if you're looking for something that you don't see, give us a call because we may have it, and we'd be glad to help you. Thank you. Quilt on.